The New England Patriots' biggest need, without a doubt, is tackle, in my opinion. Wide receiver is there, but you have guys like Bourne, you have bodies. They don't even have bodies at tackle. You could put Fitzy out there, and he'd be better at tackle. Wow. You need to get a young tackle, and this isn't if you don't get Ronnie Stanley. This is no matter what. I either want the tackle to play left tackle or right. He can be with Stanley or without, but unless Carter or Hunter, the true studs, are on the board, take the tackle. You won't regret it.
There you go, baby. Okay.
Oh, that felt good.
We got a new name out there.
3 hot football takes
got a
right
new
there.
Name out there.
Is this where we get to all just go to the lounge and like have a
cigarette and a beer?
Cocktail?
Nope, our work is not done.
Yeah, no. We're only getting started now.
Now where we start to defend our points or maybe fill in the holes in our arguments a little bit here. So we go back to Fitzy's point, which was relatively simple. Go get DK Metcalf. That's how I'd summarize it. Don't F it up.
Well, you've missed out. The 3 guys from 2019 you could have or should have drafted. You went N'Keal Harry. You had a chance to get AJ. You had a chance to get Debo. There's one left. DK Metcalf. Go get him. You need a wide receiver number 1. Pay the man. Don't worry about the money right now. Just whatever you have to do to convince him, since he said on Katie Nolan's podcast, I don't want to go to New England, mostly probably because it gets cold and he doesn't like the weather. Convince him that's okay. Drake May was from where it was warm too. He seems to like it here now too. Come be a legend. Let's win a Super Bowl.
What's he worth? What do you got to give up to get?
Trade compensation.
You got to give a first-round pick, I would think. Not the first-round pick.
I'll give them.
I keep saying that.
I'll give them next year's first.
So next year's first, and
for a proven one.
Well, but would you rather?
Reliable?
But you can get Devontae Adams without giving up any draft picks.
He's 6 years older. Not as big.
True.
And if you get Devontae Adams, he might get a year or two with May that are good. DK Metcalf, you could get 6 good years with Drake May. You could pair those 2 guys up and be like, wow, they're the next 10 years.
Devontae Adams is 5 full years older than DeKalin Zacharias.
You know what? It would be hard to argue against that. If you could get him for like a second, I'd feel a little bit better. But he's a thoroughbred. He is. What was the horse that raced Seabiscuit? War Admiral. He's like this. He's a thoroughbred. He's like just this. War Admiral. I mean, it's like he's. I've never seen an athlete like DK Metcalf.
He looks like Michelangelo carved him.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So and I like his just overall kind of disposition. He's got an anger.
Wait, you do?
He's fun. He's got a chip, and he's also fun.
Yeah. So you don't worry about, because you had brought up the idea that Drake May, second-year quarterback, has to deal with a diva.
Yep. You know why I feel differently? Because Vrabel's here. I feel like Vrabel offsets the kind of potential jackassery you might get from diva wide receivers.
Because he definitely has that. We've all seen, you're watching a Thursday night game or a Sunday night game, and he's throwing his helmet or he's yelling on the sideline. Like, he definitely has jackassery in him. But I also think, to some degree, and you maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, most receivers have some jackassery in them, the really good ones. If you want an alpha number 1 wide receiver, I keep saying this, unless his name is Larry Fitzgerald, most of them have some sort of baggage.
What do you think DK Metcalf's best attributes are? Like, do you think he's an over-the-top like speed guy, or do you think he works the short to intermediate? What do you think?
Go on.
Both.
I think it's both.
He can do all of it.
I think he can beat you in a straight line, and
unless you're Buda Baker.
Right, unless you're Buda Baker, but he can, or else he can out muscle you in short to intermediate routes.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. Dan Orlovsky's comment about Travis Hunter. He can be Randy Moss or he can be Tyreek Hill. I kind of feel like DK has some of that. He can run straight down the field like he did against the Patriots, catch the ball and score a 50-yard touchdown. But he can also run a slant, and that guy who dives in for the arm tackle, he runs through the arm tackle and keeps right on running and never stops. Right?
That's at his size, to a guy that can take a slant to the house is very, very rare at that size.
Yes. So, but he's also, you said it, he's kind of a one of one. He's bigger than A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's huge, and DK's bigger and more muscular and has freakish speed. He always wants to race people. He thinks he's like a track athlete, and then he can win the 100 or win the 60
because he's got that
or
long Moss-like gait. He's not, folks, I didn't just compare him to Randy Moss, but he's got good hands. How about the text line? Oh, he's past his prime. Don't waste your time.
No.
Are people?
What's prime now? I need to.
It's a
coconut.
It's a coconut water.
I know. I watch WWE. It's always there in a big bottle next to the announcer's table.
It's delicious.
But how old is DK Metcalf? 26?
He's 27.
And that's past his prime?
Mm-hmm. He's going into his prime right now. And you know what? He's never played with a quarterback quite like Drake May.
Nope.
Russell Wilson.
Oh, the scramble plays and the broken plays that they could have. He could be. Drake May could treat him like Johnny Manziel had Mike Evans in college. Scramble. Oh, I have this massive receiver who can jump through the roof, who's just running around down the field. I think I'll give him a shot and throw it up to him.
Yeah. The only thing I'm
you guys are getting me more excited the more we talk about
The only thing I'm hesitant about, DK, is what you give up in draft. I prefer not to give up draft picks when you got a team that needs everywhere.
Yes, but the cost of doing business, the scared money don't make money, and there's been a lot of these. That's the other thing. A lot of these wide receiver moves, these trades for wide receivers, have worked. Like, almost all of them have worked. Stephon Diggs worked. A.J. Brown worked. Tyreek Hill, I know it petered out last year, but worked initially. He led the NFL in yards.
Who's the biggest name wide receiver free agent signing in the last half decade that didn't work? I don't feel like any of them have really blown up.
No, I feel like wide receivers show up and they can do what they do. They're able to actually do what they do. So I'm with you, Fitzy. I would make a trade. I'd like Ted's idea if I can do it for a 2 or a package or something like that. I'd rather not
2 and a 2, 2 and a 4 this
2
year.
2s. Do 2 2s and give him 130.
DK Metcalf gets traded here. He becomes the highest paid player on the Patriots team.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Good for you. Pay the man.